Hello, I'm Ian Lee, and my project is big. Feel free to suggest a better name, because I am not particularly creative in that department. I describe it as a system image generator, and I'll get more into what that exactly is. So this is doing like two major things. So what I call crunch in my command interface, which takes everything from your system and stores it in a manifest file by reading output from dpackage. So aside from dpackage, it runs around your system and tries to figure out what is a useful configuration file, which doesn't work particularly well right now, but what it's looking for are things like bash RC, bash aliases, vimrc, your x1 config. So it's trying to find these useful things that you'd really, really like to keep. And then it stores all of these in a little archive with that manifest file that has your dpackage information. And then you can go to another system or on your same system and call bang, which will unpack everything, reinstall what you want, and then you have your system configuration back. So this ignores all of your user files and focuses instead on your programs and your configurations to try and get you your setup back as quickly as possible. So why would we do something like this? I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally not very experienced with Linux. I have like a year or two under my belt, but I still screw things up a lot. So when you do something silly and everything breaks, you're kind of like, oh, well, I don't really care about my files. I backed those up. You know, you have things like Dropbox, or you have, you know, your projects on Git. But like, I don't know, that time I decided that I knew how to write grub config files didn't turn out so well, and I would really have liked to get everything back the way it was before very quickly. But that didn't happen, so I started thinking about ways that we could get this done. So my roommate suggested just writing bash shell scripts to install everything again, but then I had the problem of if I wanted to go to a different system, like when I tried setting up Arch Linux, how do I transfer over from, you know, bash shell scripts to some other shell, or how do I transfer from a bash shell script calling dpackage to something else that, you know, might use pacman or something like that. So other situations where you need this are where you just want a clean install because your system's all cluttered up, or because backing up your programs on your, you know, external storage or whatever else takes up a lot of unnecessary space. So you really don't want to store your bin, lib, and user directory on your, you know, external hard drive because you don't have that much space and you'd rather just store your files. So you have other options to store your actual user files, so I didn't include those. So you have things like Git and SVN as well as Dropbox and your external hard drive. So what do I currently have implemented? Well, it grabs everything from dpackage properly, and it does some minor filtering, but I'd like to improve the filtering to get rid of things, you know, like your X server and like if you want to exclude node. So you can run through and get rid of things that just come with your operating system naturally. It also will generate a shell script at the moment. Currently it only does bash, which I'd like to, you know, expand to other shells, but it does generate a script that doesn't always run. So the past 2 weeks I had a hard drive failure, and I tried using my generated script, and that crashed and burned miserably. And it was a funny experience, but, you know, I learned some things about the script. So it does generate the script, it does filter the packages, and I have most of the command line interface up. Things to do for the future, like I said, expand what the output of the program is. So instead of just generating bash scripts, work on other shells, as well as maybe even generating meta packages for things like Synaptic or Aptitude. So then you can just use your package manager to get everything back directly instead of writing a script. Other things is I was talking with Asher, who pointed me to Sean Denbo to look into how to get this to run every time you call anything that uses dpackage. So that would mean every time you call apt-get, every time you call aptitude, or even dpackage straight, it runs and updates itself. So then you don't have to go in there and manually call it. time you install something. I would also like to implement something where it keeps track of past configurations, so you can go back and forth and be like, well, I'm not really sure that I really want to install Xmonad right now, so I'll just store my configuration, install it, and if I don't like it, I can just go back pretty quickly. And let's see, I think that's about it actually. Improve package filtering, so then you have more options of like include known, exclude KDE, things like that. Thank you to all the usual suspects, Sean O'Sullivan, Professor Morley, and RCOS, with special thanks to Asher for pointing me in the right direction, and Sean Danhover answering my questions. And now do you guys have questions? I probably talked a little fast.
So I actually really like the idea of like big crunch and big bang. That's kind of clever. One thing that I see on GitHub sometimes though is like people have Git repos for like their bash RC or their vim RC, and that's just they just call it like the dot files.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a way for your program to just create a repo of some sort of all of your saved settings and then push it up to some external server?
That could probably be an option. Right now I just have it generating like a zip file. Actually, I think it's a tar file. So that would be definitely good.
And then when you get a new server, you can just install big again and just say, oh, I want to install it from this server, and everything's up and running. You can also like set up some development environments that way.
Yeah, that'd be a good option. Thanks.
So I'm guessing this is totally Debian based.
Right now it's totally Debian based.
Yeah.
Like part of the reason I installed Arch was to get more experience with Pacman and non-Debian based systems. But yes.
Yeah. Because he will tell you I'm very good at breaking my operating system, but I have Stu, so I have Studio Writer.
Oh yeah.
So that's
well, the idea would be to expand it to other Linux platforms besides Debian, but I just started there because that's the one I break all the time.
I know that Alien and Magic would do that stuff really work reliably. RPI Also, does it basically just check what package you have installed?
That's like the first thing it does. So it calls dpackage-l, which it just checks what you have installed, grabs all those package names.
And so automatically check for updates, like does it register the one that you currently have, or does it always try to find the latest one?
It looks for the one that you have, and it actually stores that version. So it's assuming that the version you have is the one that you want.
Okay.
So I could try and make it check for updates, but it doesn't currently.
Okay.
I do not know how to make this work with collective conference.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Very good.